The first thing you want to do is pre-bake your pie shell. I used a store-bought pie shell. I didn't make my own crust for this one. And you'll want to dock your pie shell, your pastry. What that means is you'll take a fork and just poke holes in it so that the steam can escape and your pastry does not puff up. Just follow the instructions on your package that you get from the store. And while that's going, you might want to set a timer because now we're going to grab a saucepan, put 1 cup of sugar in that saucepan. Do not turn your stovetop eye on, or your burner, whichever you prefer to call it, but I call it a stovetop eye. And then you will need a pan, and we are going to put 1 cup of sugar in that pan and 2 heaping tablespoons of cornstarch. Add 1.5 cups of milk. Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now you will need to separate 2 eggs because we are going to add the egg yolks to this pan. The egg whites are reserved to make meringue, and this is a very old recipe. This is one of my absolute favorite recipes for a coconut pie, but I don't like the meringue. If you do, you make that meringue, but I do not like it. In fact, I call it cow slobber. That's how I feel about that. And to each his own. Some people love it. I just don't. Go ahead and beat those eggs. You want to make sure they're mixed really well before you pour this into your mixture in the pan. Once you've got those beaten and mixed well, go ahead and add that to your pan, and then we're just going to give this a good stir and turn your stovetop eye on to medium to low heat. And you do not want to leave this. You are going to continuously stir this mixture. Now let's trade that spoon for a whisk. And again, do not leave this. Just continually whisk this, because if you leave this for too long, it is going to stick to your pan, and then you're going to have lumps in your pie pudding, and we don't want that. So this takes patience. Just have a little patience. Patience, grasshopper, patience. Now I'm showing my age. Do you guys remember that show with David Carradine on it? I used to watch that all the time with my dad, and he would tell his student, patience, grasshopper, patience. I can't remember the name of that show, but if you remember the name, just comment below. We're going to keep stirring this, and again, you don't want to leave it for too long, and you're going to stir this until it comes to a boil. Once it comes to a complete boil and starts to thicken, we are going to add 1/2 cup of coconut. Canned coconut is the best coconut to use in this pie, but I didn't have any, and I like to keep my coconut in the freezer, and that way I have it. So I used baker's coconut, and if you use canned coconut, you're going to add 1/2 of that can. I will definitely post the full recipe in the description. Once this is done and your pie shell's done, and see where I poked the holes in it, then you are going to pour this into your pie shell. And by the way, this is a deep dish pie crust. Oh, this is so good. And then once you get it into your pie shell, you are going to want this to cool completely down before you add your topping. And I like to put whipped cream on top. Again, you can do your meringue if you would like to, and I will post that in the description as well. And then we are going to toast some coconut, and I did not get a picture of that, but you'll just put a little coconut on a baking sheet, put it in the oven on broil. It only takes about 3 minutes, and you need to watch it. It will burn really quick. And you just take that toasted coconut and just sprinkle on top just to decorate it, and it makes it really pretty. This pie does need to chill at least 4 to 6 hours in the refrigerator, and I like to do that and then top it with the whipped cream or your topping. And sometimes I like to do it the day before and serve it the next day. This is the next day, and my husband and I devoured this pie. It is so good. It's my favorite.